Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back. We're back once again for yet another match in this year's Virtual 9-Ball World Championships here in VP4 Online. It's another one lost side match. We've had one already earlier today. We had the one lost side match between Mr. Fox and Bill, and it actually ran fairly close most of the match. It wasn't spectacular, but as you can see, Mr. Fox won out in the end, 13-10. But he now faces Mal, who Cobra sent over to the one lost side. And if we look down at the bottom half of the draw, we've got the match that's going to take place tonight. We've got Albinario, who's running red hot on the one lost side against Hairpig. And the winner of that match tonight is going to be playing Spectre Dawn, who lies in wait. We've got the hot seat match all set up between Stub and Cobra. That's going to there's no rush to get that done because things have to happen in this side first. And then of course the loser of the hot seat match will come over here for the final spot in the semi-final. So good evening to Mark, welcome back. Albinario, I presume, is going to do the usual thing. We're about 3 minutes away from the match start time. Hairpig's been in for a little while. He's been getting some practice in, and well, he's going to need to practice, but I think he's and we've been brutally honest, his time in the tournament is now over. If Albinario plays anything like he has done in this one lost side, then his time is very limited left in the tournament. It'll be a major surprise if he can pull off a shock result against Albinario. Albinario is going to have a shocker tonight if Hairpig's going to get anything out of it. Oh, aye, yeah, blocking up the bloody traffic as usual. Yeah. Yeah, but I take it you're going in all the little tight country roads just to make it even more awkward. Yeah. Oh yeah, the bane of every motorist on the highway is a bloody half-wit with a caravan. Yeah. No disrespect, but that's what everybody that's what everybody thinks that's stuck behind one. Albinario's arrived. Now, I think you're the only one that said, Mark. I haven't seen anybody else. But if you didn't get the chance, a weird thing happened, and and Steve even said he's never seen it before. But the weird thing happened at the end of the match earlier on today, where the match actually finished, and suddenly from being in that match room, I was catapulted through the ether to another match room that was on in another tournament, an entirely different tournament, which was weird. And if you didn't see it, it's at the very end of the match that was on this afternoon. So Hairpig has struggled for a level of consistency. The one thing that does make the difference is I don't think Bill added to his racks run today, because it was a pretty disjointed match in terms of any great fluidity. I don't think Bill affected his. Mr. Fox might have done one or two, but he's well outside in contention of getting anything in the top 10 list for the racks run. My room should be going up any second, but Albinario can certainly stretch his lead tonight. He's got a slender lead. He's on 34 racks run, and I think Cobra's in second and 33. So Albinario can use his advantage on this one lost side and add some more racks to that list. Well, I would reckon, I think Semi-Pro said earlier on about 13.6. It could be less than that. It depending how things go. But if Albinario, look at Albinario's break, we'll see if he breaks from the left as we look, because that's usually what he's been doing. He got great success in his last match. Here we go for the lag, race to 13. That must be hairpig on the far side. I presume that's Albinario in the bottom where his cues appeared. Well, I'm wrong. Albinario lost the lag. So unless I'm out of sync, I'm just going to do a quick exit and go back in. I don't want to be out of sync. Let's just go back in. Always a bit wary. Right, we're good to go. So hairpigs broke off, and no, Albinario, Larry got 4, I think. I think it was 4 Larry ended up on, and I think he was lucky to get them. So 2 ball in the break, and I presume he's called a push out, or he's contemplating it, right? Well, this is a bit of a dilemma for the incoming player. Now you see hairpig's pushed out to there, and Albinario, I don't think can see that one to actually pot it. He can see it to push it around the angles. But he's actually got to probably try and just push it around the corner and no more, and lock the cue ball to the 7. So he hasn't done that, and in doing that he's actually sacrificed control of the table to a certain extent. I would have thought he'd have tried to just kill that with the 7 and just leave the 1 ball where it is now, rather than letting the cue ball just run through. But if hairpig can get Albinario out of a rhythm, he might have a chance. Good afternoon and good evening to Bill. Welcome back. Albinario with the jump route, and these balls look to be all lined up. The 6 is a wee bit tight to the 7. And that, well, that 3 will go. It's nice and thin. The problem with that though is Albinario's got to watch where this cue ball's ending up, and it's suspiciously ending up towards that 9 ball and the bunch of balls that are down the bottom of the table, with the line that he's going to have to take. I don't think Cobra's in, Stub. Yeah, he's going to head over towards the 9. Is he going to hit it? Yes, he is. Now, this 6 ball. See, again, that 6 ball just got me in a bit of a dilemma as to whether he can get to that to actually pot it. I'm going to need convincing. And Albinario's going to show me how you do it. Well, from that side it looks better. From there, that position, it looks great for potting now. Which is why it was so paramount to get good on it. You know, from that side angle, it didn't look really convincing that you could comfortably get to it, but from that line close to the 7 it would go. So it took a good position there to get it spot on. Now, keep an eye on the break, keep an eye on a ball on the left middle pocket, because Albinario is probably going to break from the left, or he's going to make me look like a numpty and change it up. There he goes. Now if he gets this right, watch the left middle pocket. Well, that was entirely different. That rack, that absolutely did nothing. But the other night they were flying into the left middle pocket. Just amazing how things change. But he'll persist with it, I think. But here's an instance here where hairpigs come to the table with a dry break from Albie. The 2-ball is on. The 1 has to be banked, and he's got to look to run out. And that's a good enough start. But if you're going to make any or you're going to have any say in this match, you're 1-0 down. You've got a great opportunity to make a little statement, just to let Albinario know that you're here. And, well, again, that type of shot there is where hairpig's going to let himself down big time. That sort of control, because that was hit way too much bottom on it. And that's where you need that stunny draw, where you hit it firm, but you don't dig down too deep in the cue ball, and hairpig needs to practice that, because he's got that immediately wrong. The first positional shot, he's been found wanting, and he's got himself out of line, and that, I'm afraid, you cannot do now at this point in the tournament. You've got to get those nailed. Now, what's he looking at here? Is he looking to... Well, if it goes to the middle of the bottom rail, it'll be okay. But it isn't. And the only major problem now is Albinario not doing something silly and running behind a ball. 4 balls down the left-hand side. But that shot there was, again, as I say, you get found out eventually in these tournaments. If you've got some sort of weakness in your game in executing a certain shot and getting it right, just when you had to do it on a rack like this, where they were all there for the taking, you will get found out. Now, if there is a slight problem, it's how tight this 6 ball is towards the 8. You've got to get this cue ball right down on the bottom rail, and that is not an awful lot of room to manoeuvre, it has to be said. And he's got to nail this spot on, and then he's going to have a long 6. He's pretty straight in this, so he can't really do much with it. So this is the make or break ball. Loads of room. Now the question is whether he wants to go around angles to come down the left side, or whether he wants to... Yep, he's tried to come straight up the right side, and it's cost him. And hairpig's got a second bite at it. First pot's not quite as simple, but again, does he want to play the flashy shot that I would go for, which is pot the 7 and punch it in with top right English on the cue ball and get the cue ball running that way, so that you're nowhere near this 9 ball. You need sorry, not top right, top left. Well, he's sort of done it in a sort of way, but he hasn't been flashy, but he's got there, and that's all that matters. Now he has to get up the table or come back to play this long. Again, got to make your mind up so that you're certain about what you're about. Now let's see if he's going to come back. Let's see if he can get this stunny draw where you hit it firmer, but you don't go right below the bottom of the cue ball. Well, that was a better attempt at it. And this for 1-all. Well, it took 2 attempts, but he got there eventually. But it all came about with Albinario's position on that 7. It cost him. So that's like one mistake, and it's eventually been punished by hairpig, and that's what he has to do. If he gets those chances, they've got to go. And not a bad break. And the 9 ball, of course, dropping in. It counts. Never even seen the 9 going in. I was too busy looking up the top of the table. So there's a bonus and a half. Yeah, Stub, you'd be better off moving over to Twitch because you've got a big delay there in YouTube. So hairpig finds himself 2 racks to 1 up, but the break, as many of them have been in this tournament, is dry. Albinario getting straight in on that one, but that was not an easy 1 ball. But and again, it's not an easy table to run out either, considering where he is in the 2. It's another tough 2, but if he's committed to that 1 ball, he's going to be all out committed for the 2. And then up the table for the 3 into the left middle. Now, well, he's got to just kill the cue ball again. I'll just come off the rail, but keep it this side of the middle pocket if he can, so that he's got a half decent line. Well, he's sort of on the 50-yard line, so to speak. But now what does he do? Does he try and come across twice to get into here for this 5? Nope. He's trying to be cute with it, and he's just got there. But of course now he's just got to dink this in to try and hold for the 6, and now he's neither here nor there, so he's got himself out of line. And that, well, that's not getting cut into the middle. It's way too thin. So he's got to try and run and hide, I would think, unless he looks as if he's lining up with inside right for the thin cut. Yeah, and he's overdone it. And, well, he's almost got away with it, but not quite. Now here would be a big bonus, because Albinario got himself out of shape, took a risk at the cut, didn't get it, and there's a chance for hairpig to get the cut in this 6 and might get a brush off the 9 and put him good on that 7, because he can't really do an awful lot with the cue ball other than focus 100% on the cut. Now he's got the brush in the 9, and then the 9 has gone in. Oh, goodness me, what a bonus that is. And it's 3-1 to hairpig. And Albinario has taken a liberty with that cut in the 6, and he's paid the price big time. And he's finding himself 3-1 down. And he's now in this ideal situation that hairpig would want, that Albinario is now chasing and is going to feel forced into having a go and take more risks just to get rid of the deficit. And that will play into hairpig's hands if he can pounce on the chances that come his way. Yeah, well, I gave him the match earlier on today. You know, Albinario's going to have a nightmare, and hairpig's going to have to take all the chances he gets. And at the moment it's shaping up well for hairpig. Well, that's That's not quite got there either. This is, again, it's just another awkward ball that he really should be playing safe off of. I mean, he should be pushing this up the table and leaving the cue ball down here. He's going for the cut into the middle, and he's overdone it. And the thin cut is on. And that's another chance that Albinario... See, he's pushing the boat out on shots that he should have played a safe off of and waited in a better opportunity, but these guys tend not to want to do that. All these guys that are remaining in the tournament, they don't want to take that liberty. Cobra probably would have tried to get the safety, but out of the rest of them, I don't think there's one of them would contemplate that. It's you know, take every opportunity you can get to try and pot every ball that you see, and it costs in the end. Now, what about hairpig's safety? Well, again, that doesn't make the grade, I'm afraid. That was a shot of somebody who wasn't really sure what they were going to do there. If it was the attempted pot, I don't think it was ever really comfortably on. And as for the safety, well, that was non-existent. And that's just giving it back to Albinario. Now he needs to miss the traffic. And I think the pace is good. How's the brush in the 7? Oh dear. Well, would you believe it? The brush in the 7 has killed it. He's trying to, and again, Albinario's touch, again, like Spectre Dawn's last night, like a sledgehammer on those dinky little shots. He should have zoomed in for that, because that's one tip I would give to anybody, is if you're in those tight little shots and you want to play a little dink, zoom in and then play it, because you'll get better touch and control on the shot. But, well, if I was Albinario, I'd be getting worried, because he's given away racks here and giving away opportunities, and he's already 3-1 down and he's still doing it. And all it needs is a running just to go in hairpig's favour for the next few racks, and then the pressure's really on. And all of a sudden, a race to 13 is very short. That's the other point. Well, this is where it can go wrong. He doesn't want to end up in the top right hand corner of the table for this 8 ball. He wants to be short of it like that, so at least he can stare it down into the pocket. Now, is that going to get there? No, it isn't. Again, these tentative shots, trying to hold for the 9. You've really got to stun that in and make sure it at least gets to the hole. And the nerves are shown from hairpig. Well aware of the situation that he's got himself in. He's got the lead, and he's given Albinario the chance to narrow it down. Back to within 1. Good evening to Moz. Good evening to Steve. Who's Mark Leader, by the way? Is that Potman? I never noticed, but he posted something in the Facebook live stream earlier on today. He was asking what the score is, but I never saw it in the chat because he said he couldn't see the score. Yeah. So I actually only noticed that his comment on the actual Facebook, where the stream was on Facebook. I only actually seen his comment then. I never noticed it during the stream. He was asking what the score was because he couldn't see it on his phone, I think that was. Anyway, he'll know the result now, no doubt. So Albinario trying to get things back on parity here. And again, he's short on this 5 ball. Again, these are all little testers. Now, what's the shot here? Well, I would just run it around the angles and come into the table. I mean, you can draw away from it and still come into the table like that, but I would just let it run. Plenty of room to manoeuvre. So Albinario is going to have to start again. Got it back, all square, and now still going to break from the left, no doubt, and see what happens this time. There it goes. That is the second ball below. In fact, that was the 1 ball that time. The 1 ball and the 8, but the 1 ball has gone cross table into that left middle. And if it's not the 1 ball that goes, it's one of the 2 balls below the 1 ball in that diamond. So that one worked. The only thing is he's not sitting good in the 2. But that's what he was doing the other night with monotonous regularity. And it shot him up the Racks Run leaderboard. Well, that little kiss in the 3's not too bad, even though it's a blind pocket cut. You'll get this every day of the week. If you just pick the line and you can cheat the pocket if you've got the pace right. Well, he's spending an awful lot of time looking at this. Let's see what it looks like. See, that looks worse from behind where he is. He's closer to the rail. It looks a lot worse from this angle. It's not quite as inviting, this 3 ball. Another problem is he looks as if he's destined to hit the 9 ball from that line. He's avoided the 9 and he hasn't read the cut. And once again, Hairpig's got a chance. But Hairpig needs to be committed on these shots. There's been a couple of those tentative ones that he's played that's basically let Albinario back in it. Now, does it? I mean, this is dangerous both ways. If you go forward and come down this way, you're asking for trouble there with that one. If you come around this way and down this way, you're going to end up somewhere there. The line is not great to come down that way. Oh, that's unlucky. He's got lucky in missing the 9, but extremely unlucky in scratching. But that was the risk you had to take to get a better line on the 5. And Albinario can breathe again. His miss on the 3 hasn't cost him. And that's what may well cost Hairpig in the end. These chances he's getting, and you're getting that one chance, and at this level in this tournament now, you simply have to take them. You can't be hanging around waiting for 2 and 3 goes to win racks. It won't happen. It ain't going to happen. So Albinario regains the lead. Once again, the break from the left. Let's have a look behind him, see what he's doing here, what ball he's aiming at, and whether he's cutting it. Aye, he's cutting it. You can see what he's looking as if he was cutting it, but he's not now. He's cutting it the left side. He wasn't square on with that. He was cutting it from the left side of that one ball. And again, I don't know whether one went into the middle there, but the one ball certainly has disappeared because I was too busy looking at where he was hitting. But these balls are not sitting too badly at all. Now he's got plenty of room to get to the 4. Just into that gap. The problem is not that, it's now getting back for the 5. Did it go into the middle? See, that's and you notice he was cutting across the left side, and initially when he queued up he was cutting across the right side of the one ball, but then he was not centred. He wasn't centred on the one ball, he was slightly left on it when he played it. So if he gets another rack, we'll try and get in behind him and see if he's doing the same thing, because he's finding if he gets it right and gets that mark, and obviously if the rack's racked properly, he will get that ball in the middle pocket. Well, hang on a minute. Should I do this just now or should I wait? I was going to change it to I was going to change the camera view to down his cue. Well, we know he's going to break from the left, so we'll get here and have a close look at what he's up to. Now there is a scuff mark there. You can see the light scuff mark, the burn mark in the cloth. So he's breaking from the right of that. He's a lot closer to the rail. Now that looks fairly central, and that time nothing went. I didn't hear anything go, so it's come up dry. But Albinario's back into a 2-rack lead. Well, the 3 ball passes the 9 up top of the table, not a problem there. The problem, if there's anything, is actually getting on the 4. And hairpig's punched that into the jaws. Now, Albinario, I don't know whether he's going to try. Is he going to try and bank this one up towards the 4 and run the cue ball? What's he thinking? Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, he's just running for cover. He has to avoid the scratch though, what he has done. And that's got hairpig in trouble. Sensible shot. The only big risk you take there is the scratch. But if you can get away with that, you'll always have your opponent in trouble. And I don't know whether there's a good line here to get to this one, because this 5 and 6, or that line he's taking there's behind and trying to hit it from the short rail. That one there looks as if it might be the pocket. Avoiding the 2 and might be the pocket. Let's have a look. No, I got it spot on. What do I know? What do I know? That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, again, the position is not great. He's got a blind shot in the 2, and again, he could run this cue ball right in amongst those balls on the right hand side and lock Albinario up here. If he actually pushed the 2 somewhere, maybe down towards the 3, I don't know whether he could do it or not. The angle's too sharp. But he's going to have to beef this up. And he had the shot, he just did not get the 2. It was a good effort to get there. So Albinario He's going to have to just check this slightly. He needs to watch he doesn't hook himself behind the 6 though. He's okay. Now, what do you do here? Now, does he... I mean, I'd be more inclined to pot this 3 ball with a little feather of inside right. Just to get the cue ball to come up this line. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to leave yourself somewhere here and you can still pot the 4. If you go too far or down here, you can still get to the 4. He might try running into it, which might be a mistake. Oh, what's the line? Is he getting away with it? Yes, he is. Just. It was always going to be tight and close. And now he can probably nudge onto that 8. He'll still be able to cut the 5. But that was a shot just to get that line coming down this right side as we look to open up the 4. It was in a tight spot. But Albinario now looking fairly comfortable now to stretch this lead. Well, he could have done with coming back just an inch on that, just to make it a wee bit more comfortable. But the job is done. Right, back to the break. Maybe he'll slow down a bit this time, give us a chance to watch this. Right, so you start... Well, another ball into the middle. I don't know whether that was the second or third ball that went in, because I'm too busy looking at where he's hitting it. But it's into the same pocket in the middle. And he's got half a shot in the 1. A little dink. Oh, he's played it well. Perfectly controlled. And as long as he keeps breaking like that, he's getting a lot more success than failures doing it. And the balls are falling pretty well for him as well, and he's taking every advantage of it. That's what I said the other night there, though. I said I'm surprised that these, I mean, especially last night with Stubb and Cobra, that neither of the two of them paid any attention at all whatsoever to what Albinario's been doing, and went away and worked on it to try and find something. And looking at where he's hitting the ball and looking at the end result, we're spotting this ball going into the middle pocket, the left side. And it's going in with a fair regularity. And if you can get your fair share of them during the match and pinch a few from your opponent, then you are going to build up a lead. So I don't see Albinario changing his tack for his remainder of time in this tournament, and these other guys better be aware of it. So now Albinario has a comfortable lead, 7-3, and he's going to try and race me to get to here. Right, watch the 2 balls, the 5 and the 7, see what happens. Well, that's went into the opposite side pocket this time. There's even stranger things happening. And of course it's the 1 ball that's gone again, and he's sitting perfectly on the 2. And this is going to mount up these racks run for Albinario. He's going to race away with this bonus 1,000 V dollars. What's the line he's got here? Now again, the line, he could stun the 3 in, and he can go to the short rail with a little bit of inside if he wanted. Or is he trying to come to this side of the 6? What's he doing? Yeah, he's coming down the left side as we look. Plenty of room past the 9. But the problem is this angle in the 5 again. It's another testy one. And he's got to keep a control in this cue ball as well to stop going near that that corner pocket. If he's going to stun this in, he's well away from it. Needs to miss the 7 though, and that's left him awkward. And this is another one of these testy ones. We know it goes. He's just got to get that spot on to go past the 9. Oh, I thought he'd got it too thin there, and he has done. He's left it hanging. Got it just too thin. And look where the 5 ball is, right in the pocket. It might as well be in it. And this is difficult to judge the control. And he's still got a shot though. Now, is hairpig going to resurrect himself in this match with this opportunity? It's not quite the raising of the dead yet, but if Albinario wins any more, it pretty much will be. So he needs to get this, and he needs to miss the 7 because he's ending up in no man's land. He's still got the shot, but struggling for control here. Now, if you're looking straight down the shot, and I'm looking at that, I'm just looking to drag that in and kill the cue ball and leave the 8 into the same pocket. And he's done it right, and now he can just nurse the 8 in, drop through a couple of inches, and he's on the 9. He doesn't need to be running up the table. He can just drop it in and roll through to about there. Well, it comes off squarer, but that's perfect. Job done. Now, the other thing is has hairpig been paying any attention whatsoever to Albinario? Because that's the other thing that you have to do when you're playing these matches. You have to watch what your opponent's doing with the break, and maybe try it. And he looks as if he's set in his ways. He's going for the break off the centre line. The 8 ball's going to track in. And now, what this needs is a good tight safety. Now, if you can skim off the 1 and brush past the 9, send that 1 towards the 3, send the cue ball down past the 9 in behind the 2. That looks like a half decent line to try. He's playing this with check left hand side to punch it up that way. That'll do it. That's still a decent enough shot, because that's taken out the jump shot. The 3 ball's in the way of that, and Albinario's going to have to find a kick. And I'll tell you another thing, that 7 ball's in the wrong position for a kick off the short rail, and Albinario's in trouble here. Now, can he get... I think he can get it that way though. He hasn't looked at it, but when you're desperate, sometimes you have to play it with top right English to square the cue ball up to hit the 1 going that way. He's not even looking at it. But I think there's a line next to the 7 where you can get to the 1. But you have to maybe check it up with a bit of right. I don't know whether that line will do it. Maybe my eyes aren't reading it right, but no. See, Albinario's been too focused on the line to the rail and forgot about the 2 ball. I think the line was there, but you actually had to put it to the rail. But with right English in the cue ball, that way it squares it up to take the line to hit that object ball. But Albinario's made a complete arse of that, as they say. And it's a gift of an opportunity for hairpig again. And this is a bit like deja vu. Albinario got a start, and then lost the next 2 or 3 racks. Now he's got a lead, and now he's looking at giving away opportunities for Hairpig to get back in it again. This shot here, I mean, you could try and find a gap, you could check it up like that, and that'll do. That's all you want is a shot and half a chance to get onto the 5. The one thing I can say straight away, even though we're not halfway through this match, Albinario has made more errors in this match than he's done in all of the matches that he's played in the one-loss side that I've seen. He's made a whole heap of unforced errors, and that's playing right into Hairpig's hands. If he can keep in touch, I've said it 100 times before, if you can get deep into the match, don't care who it is you're playing, the nerves will show. That little boy starts working away in the head, funny things happen. I mean, Stubb missing in a straight in 5-ball last night, out of the blue, and still hasn't given us a reason why he did it. Look at that 9-ball. 9-ball is just waiting to be brushed in by something. And Hairpig's got the 8 in the break, and I don't think he's got a clean shot in the 1. And he's going to have to bail it out with a jump stick. When did Semi-Pro arrive? Did I say hello? I can't remember whether I did. I'm just seeing that in the chat. Well, that's unlucky. Unlucky because you really don't have much control over the cue ball when you play those. And he's locked out in the 2. And, well, the one thing that Hairpig has to do is to make sure that this 2-ball comes down the bottom of the table. If he can hit it in the left side, if he's kicking it, it'll come down the right side past the 3. That direction. That way it's well away from the 9. He doesn't want it to come down that side. Well, if it ends up in that side, it'll pretty much be okay. But it's wide open though. And that's all you can do is just, give it a hit and a hope. Hope your luck's in. Now, Albinario, well, he's got a decision. I mean, he could take the cut, obviously. He could cut it that way, but run into the 3 and then not know what's happening. So he's done the sensible one. And quick look at, does he want to risk a 5-9 or does he want to do what he should do and run the table, because they're all there. There's not a real issue in trying to run this table out. And the one issue will be, and it's the issue that they all fall into, is potting at 6, coming up here and finishing down this side of the 7 below it. You don't want to be anywhere like that. Well, it is going to be a 5-9. That saves that a problem. Yeah, Semi hasn't said anything whether he's got this PC yet. They must be burning it into the ground. The graphics card will be fried and the power supply will be fried by the time he gets it. Meanwhile, Albinario, again, I don't know, but I'm sure a ball went into the left-hand side there. I was too busy reading the chat, but I'm convinced there's something went into the left. The 1 and 2's gone, so the 1's probably into the middle again. And we've seen it at least 3 times, balls going into the left middle. We had the one get into the right middle in one of the racks, which was an exception to the rule. But these guys have to start copying Albinario. Simple as that. You know, he's been doing it all the way through, and he's been getting good success, and he's getting a good percentage of them, and he's getting racks run from them. So what is it about it not to be trying? And again, you know, the one thing you do is pay attention to what's happening. Who's having a good run? Who's getting the racks run, and who's getting runouts, and how are they doing it? Well, it's obviously it's right in front of you. And yet these guys are sticking with what they know. But if you get into a match and you're struggling, then change it up. Watch what the opponent's doing. Well, ball in hand for Albinario. The solution here will be if he just runs through, gets inside the 5, that would be ideal, or outside the 5, whatever he's comfortable with. Inside like that, I mean, that's not too bad. It's a bit straightish, but he's going to run through. Now the danger here is with the line he's got, he wants to be careful he doesn't run into this 9. Yeah, he's making sure of that. That's why he was worried about if he just ran through, he could have ran through and locked himself. So again, evasive manoeuvres was the right option there, and stunning across hard. And he's seen that coming, and that is taking the game to that next level where you can see that issue that's likely to happen from the line that he had. So you have to then bail out. You have to make sure you take that out of the equation, and the big stun avoided just rolling softly through to the wrong side of the 9. And now everything's comfortable. Just drop the 8 in, not a problem. And it's going to be 9-5. Right. Quick dash round. Let's look at it from above. Well, something went in, and this time it's the cue ball that's gone in. Amazing. There's some other balls went in, but the cue ball was one of them. So the cue balls got loose there. And again, breaking from the extreme sides of the table, you get those, well, Steve calls them slug racks, where the balls just seem to sort of die. But Albinario's getting a lot more of these balls moving about, and of course you'll get the occasional one where he does have something go amiss. But I think the benefits of it far outweigh the disadvantages or the bad luck that he's had with it. He's not had that much bad luck with it. Meanwhile, Hairpig, again the question has been asked. There's a table. There's half a dozen balls there. Get that table cleared. And get it cleared to stay in touch. Now, what's the line he has here? He's dead straight, and this is a problem. See, again, that needed probably checking slightly to get the line better on the 5, make it a wee bit easier. But now, does he want to stun around the angles and risk running into the 9? He's spinning it. He's going to try and come down here by the look of it. If he gets the cut. Yeah, that's a good line. That's ideal. And now, well, again, you don't want to be chickening out in this shot. You want to be committed to come right up the table, or just drop it through gentle enough and leave yourself either in the middle or the long pot. And he's sort of in between, and he needs to just hold the cue ball and not let that run forward, because the line's towards the middle pocket with this cue ball. He doesn't want to do something daft, and that's the right way to do it. So he's back to within 3 and just needs a ball and a shot. The odd 9 ball in the break would come in handy. And he's sticking with the centre break. 7 balls definitely going in. And he's got what looks to be a shot in the 1. Let's have a look. Yes, he does. And he can squirt out in between the 2 and the 6 if he plays this gentle enough. And still have a shot, and that will do. Now with this one, again, you've got to go by the angles that are there. You don't need to do anything with the cue ball. You pot this, you're coming back across for the 3. So it's all about controlling the pace. You don't need to do any acrobatics here. You've got to hit it though. You see, he's just getting a bit tentative. And he's trying to, I mean, I can't believe he's trying to hold it for that gap. The room was over here for the 3, and Hairpig's just chickening out a wee bit there. Got to get it 100% and get yourself into that open space, because that was the safest route to go, to make sure you could get a good sight in a 3 rather than leaving it short like that. But having said that, Albinario has fouled. Good evening to Craig. And Hairpig's getting his second bite at it. There won't be any more. Now, again, I don't think he's going about this the right way. He's looking at the 3 into this pocket, but he should have been trying to get up here for the 3 to get up for the 4. That's the right line, rather than having to try draw shots. See, he's in the middle of no man's land here because he's not 100% comfortable in getting that right shot. You've got to go for the proper shot to get there, not some haphazard way where you're having to force yourself into doing things with the cue ball. You know, that's going to scratch. You know, and that's come about from visiting the table and starting off wrong. He started off wrong by not committing himself to get up to this line for the 3 into the middle and get down for the 4, and that's where it all went pear-shaped. So if he looks back at the video, he can see where he went wrong. These tentative sort of not 100% confident shots ain't going to work in the remainder of this tournament. All of the other guys that are in this will play them 100%. You've got to get the right shot, not the sort of let's leave it half measures and we'll deal with what we get. And that's exactly how that seemed to pan out there. And he's going to get his just desserts because of it. He's been given a second go, and that's 2 goes too many, I'm afraid. This needs to bounce. Again, this has just got, I'll be working the cue ball a bit more. Let's have a look at it from this end. Yep, it's another testy one, this. I mean, these can easily hang up. He's played it well, though. Dug himself out a hole. And, well, that's where Hairpig seems to be slipping further and further into the hole. It's now double figures for Albinario. It's 10-6. And Albie with the break. Let's see what happens here. Well, he's forgot to amp that up there. He's got that one all wrong, and suddenly the 3 ball's gone in. He's got a thin cut in the 1, and he's got a run out on. Well, I think he did that just to confuse me. I think he didn't necessarily forget to put the amp on. He might have forgot to hit his DPI button, but it was just it was like a house cue break, that one. Now that's the problem with playing draw shots for position. Exactly what's happened there. You can never judge him right. And he's overhit it. And now he's heading round the houses here. Unless he's going to try and again just escort this to the pocket. But there's far too much angle. So he's just getting himself a bit untidy here, Albinario. Not as pristine as he's been in his last couple of matches. But like I say, if you're going to have a bad match and you still win, then that's fine. It's not leading to disaster. He's just giving himself more work to do. I don't know whether I've mentioned it this stream, but I think I mentioned it earlier on this afternoon. Most of you guys wouldn't have been around then, but last night was a record for me in Virtual Pool 4 live streams. I had 41 people watching the stream at the peak, and that was one more than the last peak that I had. I can't remember what match that was, but it was 41 last night. It would have been good if it was 141, but it was 41 and it's heading in the right direction. Well, again, Albinario's doing his best to find himself awkward spots to get to. Good evening to Bav. So Albi is progressing slowly but not necessarily surely. He's sort of bumbling and stumbling a wee bit. How's this going to work? Cross table 2 ball, second ball in the row. That's the way. See when it works? It works like that. And, well, he's got half a shot in the one. And I'm expecting to see some of these guys left in this tournament, Stubb in particular, Cobra, and them to be working on this and to be trying to, get themselves locked in a room and get some practice in. Albi's getting too much success from this not to be ignoring it. Yep, your prediction was 13-6, Semi. I'll give you that, but it hasn't happened yet, but I'll give you it. I think Semi's claiming diplomatic immunity to answer from answering that question, Popman. Because you asked it before, they still never answered you earlier on. Maybe it's lying in bits in the carpet. Maybe that's how it came out of the box. Well, I think Steve might have something to do with that as well. I don't think necessarily Stubb. Because the one that had 40 in it, I don't remember what match it was. It might have been the Cobra. It might have been Cobra. Was it Cobra and Mal? I can't remember. But there was 40 in it, and there was 41 last night. You sure the guy you spoke to wasn't a guy called Michael from Bombay? And you've been stitched up well and truly here. Well, Albinario is about to go on the hill, and I'm pretty certain he's added a few of these racks run to his leaderboard status. He's running away on that. He's at least got 5 or 6 in this match, which is more than enough to comfortably stretch his lead. And again, a ball in the left middle. When are you guys going to learn? I don't think he's got much of a shot in the one though this time. And the 2 ball is hanging. And, well, I'd be pushing right up into that corner. Right up here. I mean, the worst you're going to do is get locked up to the 8. If you push it anywhere this side, then you're leaving an easy cut with the 1 onto the 2, but, well, he's pushed it into the middle. He might get this back, as a matter of fact. That 1 isn't going to be cut onto the 2 from there, I don't think. I'd be inclined to give this back. Well, I ordered my mobile phone today from BT, right? And because that's who I'm with, plus I get a discount because this is the first contract phone I've had. And the bastard said, you know, when you choose the phone, it says you order it before this time, you'll get it tomorrow, which is fine for me because I'm off tomorrow, as I am today. And lo and behold, you go through all the process, they do the credit check and everything's fine, and then you get it, and then they say fine, that's it, sorted out, and then you get 2 or 3 emails come through. You get the one confirming that what your deal is, and then the next thing you get is an email saying that it's DPD, whatever, you know, the parcel company that's doing the delivery, whatever they're called, is it DPD or something like that, and you've got a reference number where you can do an order track. But it tells you in the bloody email, it should be with you within the next 3 working days. Well, that's no bloody good. Because when you go to order the thing, it tells you order it now, you'll get it next day. They better bloody come tomorrow and I'll be bawling down the phone at them, I'll tell you, because I won't be here. I won't be here on bloody Friday, I'll be back at work. No point in telling you one thing and then send you an email telling you another thing. I'll have a good rant, I'll tell you. Oh, I'll tell you, I had a real fun and games getting this fibre installed. By the way, it was early February. I set it up, and it was the end of February they were coming to install it, and it never appeared until last week. A week today I've had it. That shows you how long it took them to get their act together, with about 4 failed installs where they never showed. They're absolutely snowed under, so they are. It's not BT that do the installs, it's OpenReach, which is like a subsidiary company, I think, and they've been really snowed under. But I don't like an email, I don't like ordering something and say, well, you'll get it next day, and then you get an email saying, yeah, it'll be here in 3 working days. That's a get-out clause, that's a stitch-up job. Well, back to the more important things at the moment. I've had my rant, that's me finished. Hairpig, unless he does something completely stupid, like try and overhit that too much, he should be resting one of these racks back. Wonder about the weather in Scotland now. I don't get that one. If it's a legit question, it's chilly. Yeah, the forecast is wintry showers up north tonight. We'll be okay down here. We don't see any of that. But it's not to be a warm night, shall we say? Anyway, Hairpig has got 7 racks on the board. And he's looking for some sort of safety here. Now, if he pushes the 1 into the rail like that, that's not leaving a combo. That's perfectly safe like that. Well, there's a saying up here, ne'er cast a clook till May is out. Which roughly translated, don't take anything off until June comes in. You know, don't lose the jacket. Don't go down to the t-shirt, especially up here, because if you get that northerly wind, it's still bloody cold, and you'll still get. I mean, they'll have snow up in the mountains tonight and tomorrow, no doubt about that. It's still skiing weather up there. Well, hairpig fighting for survival. Last chance saloon, back against the wall. He can only come out fighting. Now, the problem is the 7 ball. Now, is he going to be clear in how he's going to go about this? And it's all going to hinge on how he's lying on this 5. Right, let's have a look. Well, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be beefing this up. I wouldn't be risking a draw because I don't like the line that's there, and I'd be pinching a bit to get down here. And he's following that line. He's following the line. The commentator's eye's done it again. Look at that. That is perfect. Now, can he deliver? Oh dear. Oh, he's cheated that big time. He's cheated that big time, that one. And it's gone in, and it was only the pace that let it drop. Now again, it's another testy one. He's got to make his mind up what he's about to do here. Because when you don't, you do silly things. Now he's got the testy cut. He's just got to get a hold of this cue ball and stop it running away to silly places. And he's got another one back. But in truth, it's just about making it a better looking score. Oh, I forgot that's bloody... I forgot, I just realised, I knew I'd seen the name before, now I've just realised it's Albinario. Well, hairpig, I think, is persisting with his break, even though it's still not working for him, even at this stage in the match. It's come up dry. Good evening to Ali. Thank God we don't have Discord on. You don't want to be listening to Ali at this stage in the match. He would just deafen you. It's just constant noise. I've just had an idea how to get rid of viewers. I'll get Ali in for the next commentary. I'll get Ali into the commentary box and just see everybody disappear. Well, Albinario is in a stitch here. And of course he's on YouTube as well, and it takes him that long to actually hear the feedback back from what I'm saying before he can react to it as well. Well, that's a pretty good kick. I mean, I don't think you could ask for any better result than that. I mean, that is perfectly safe there. And I think if hairpig really gets desperate, he might try jumping that, but it'd be hard push to keep anything on the table doing that. He's got an easy kick though, with a bit of spin. Just a wee bit of right. I think if he doesn't put a wee bit of right on it, he might not get there when he's got it. And that is not a bad result either. That was well played. I know. I can believe that Ali's probably gone already. He's got the attention span of a goldfish. That's him been in, said his piece, and now he's gone. And again, not a bad result. Now is Albinario lining up to do something, not Albinario, hairpig lining up to do something crazy here, because that one ball, in theory, will squeeze down the rail. Firefox suddenly closed. Oh, this is a little delicate dink. Well, for once, hairpig's nailed it. He's got the touch, and he's got the safety. Now, what's Albinario going to conjure up here? Is he going to jump to the rail, kick the one, and the one's going to push the 9 up the table? What do you reckon, guys? Albinario's going to go for something spectacular here. Or is he trying to find a line to get to kick the one? Because I think the line is too close to the jaw to make a jump and kick the rail and do it that way. He's just going to give it a smack and hope. But he's not got away with it. And hairpig, well, I think with this one, if he goes forward, he's in danger of running into this too. Good evening to Rotor Monkey, good afternoon. It's probably getting on for latish afternoon, depending where you are. It'll be, what, quarter past 4 Eastern time. Well, see, now he's not really made up his mind what he's trying to do there, because he's left himself really awkward in the 2, but if he gets this, he's bound to move something over towards this 3 and 4, where they're locked up. Oh, that's unlucky. He's run straight into the 7. Now, he's got to be really, really careful here. Is he going to try and billiard the 9? Because if he does, he's going to expose the 3. If he goes that way, and even if he goes that way with no intention of doing anything with the 9, he's still going to put the 3 into play. Because he's got to hit a rail, remember, so he can't just nurse this, he's got to get to a rail. And how's his luck? Well, Albinario is going to play a delicate one here if he's going to try and get the ball to a rail. My voice is beginning to go. And try and sneak behind the 5. It's a bit too far to be trying that. Yeah, he's just trying to run for cover. He hasn't got it. And what's more, it's an invitation to the bank. This bank's every day of the week. It even cuts if he wants to risk it. But if you bank it, you might get 2 goes at it. I don't know whether he's making his mind up here to cut this or to play the bank. Let's have a look. He's still look. I would have already played the bank, because I'm going to make sure I'm going to give it enough speed to either go into the opposite pocket, give myself 2 chances of it going in. He's gone for the cut. Needs to get lucky though. That was always the issue, running into the 5. And it's a pressure cut in the 4. And can he avoid hitting the 7 as well? Well, we're just going to play this. He might be trying to. Let's see whether he can come away from there and avoid the 7. Looking at the line of the pot. Yeah, he's avoided the 7. He's got another testy one. Cue ball stays up. And this is a pro. Now again, he has to be committed 100%. He's got to get the pace to cut it, miss the 7, and get back across. That's all he can do. And the further across he goes, the more of a shot he's going to have on this 6. So he's got to hit it. He can't try and baby this in. Oh, that's not a bad line. That is not bad. No, I'm not doing anything. I'm finished. I'm finished with the cigarettes. I haven't smoked anything for weeks. I haven't had a single thing for God knows how long now, but that's at least, what, got to be 2 months or more. And now he's out of line. Pace is too heavy. And this, well, he does not want this to be his last shot, and he needs to watch the scratch in the middle as well. If he's just going to run this in, he needs to watch the scratch. Oh, he's got the pot. He's well away from the scratch. And he's perfect on this 8 ball. Now, all he needs to make sure he does is play it with 100% commitment. Don't try and do some half-arsed inside English thing like this and leave it short. He's got to get this in. He'd be better running it and avoiding the 9, but he's checked it, took the risk. And it's going to be another one for Hairpig. So his next target is double figures. And this is turning into a much better match than I thought it would ever be. And he's still breaking from the centre line. Or the centre spot, if you want to call it that. And it's a fairly straight rack. And the 2 balls thinking about it has gone in. And it's going to be a possible, or that 3 ball may have just killed that idea. But he might have a bash at a 1-9 billiard here. Smack into the 1, smack into the 9 and hope for the best. But if he doesn't get it, it could be his last shot again. I think if he was going to do that, he'd maybe need to jack up a bit. Is he trying to sneak behind the 9? Because that's very dangerous and there's not an awful lot of room. He might be trying the billiard. And he's tried it. Oh, he's maybe had another go at it. Well, Albinario is looking to draw into this gap here if he can get jacked up far enough. And if he can hit the rail and kiss the 9 in. He doesn't look as if he's doing it though, he's not even contemplating it. Albinario's a wee bit nervous now of doing anything like that, I think. He's just a wee bit wary, but if he picks the line and he can jack up, he can surely pop that 1 and draw back and kick off the rail and nudge the 9 in. The 9's out into the table. So if you can get that line, he's having a go. Well, he's looking at it to see if he can get to it, but he's maybe having second thoughts. So we'll soon find out. Good evening to Bedhead. Bedhead's been quiet all night. Yeah, he's going for it. Yeah, it's always on. And the 1 goes in as well. So Albinario eventually gets through by 13 racks to 8. And now Albinario will face, if this updates, that is. And we'll have a look at the stats in a wee second. And I want to see if I can post this link to let all you guys see what happened earlier on. Yeah, this result will go through in a second. We've got Albinario through to play Spectre Dawn. That'll update in a minute. And then up top, we've got Mr. Fox, who's come through against Bill earlier today by 13 racks to 10. And Mr. Fox is going to be playing Mal. If we then go back and go to the stats page, we will have a look, and I reckon Albinario, yeah, he's away up on 39 now. He's way out in front by 6 clear racks, and he's benefited from going over to that 1 loss side early. But the thing is, it's all very well being in the one-loss side. You've still got to put the racks away, and that's the difference. You know, there's been plenty of other guys over on the one-loss side, and they're not putting together the amount of racks that Albinario has. So it'll be interesting to see how these remaining guys that are in contention are going to break, and see whether they're going to start working on this Albinario break. Now, before you go, let's see if I can get this to paste. No, I can't. I can't get the bloody thing to paste. But if you want to go onto the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, have a look at that match earlier on this afternoon, the one between Bill and Mr. Fox, and go right up to the end of the match, and watch the final rack, or the end of the final rack, and see what happens. You'll see that I miraculously end up in another tournament room without going to the lobby, which was crazy. Anyway, more to the point, we're now at a sort of a stage in the tournament now where it's down to the one-loss side to take care of things. You know, Mal and Mr. Fox have to arrange their match, and the bottom half of the draw, it's then Albie and Spectre on to arrange theirs. Now, obviously, somebody's going to come over from the hot seat match, whoever that might be, but these guys will still have to get their matches done to get there. So there's no rush. We've got up until, what is that, April the 11th, so there's a long way away there. But looking at these matches here, and the one-loss side, we've got Albinario and Spectre on. They've got up until May the 9th to get them done. So there's plenty of time to get the matches set. So the next matches we watch are all going to be one-loss side matches anyway. And then the tournament will finalise once that hot seat match has taken place. And we've got the loser of that match over in the semi-final spot. So that's all still to happen. And hopefully I can get that, guys. Well, it ended up being not a bad match. A lot better than I thought it would be, and certainly a lot closer. And Albinario has had what you would class as a poorer match than he's had so far in the one-loss side. But better to get it done and get it out of the way and still win. That's all that matters. So, thanks for your company, guys. Stay safe, take care, and keep your eye out. I'll see you again, hopefully, for some more of these matches in this tournament. And I will bid you good night.